I'll read it to you as I wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
This stressful situation. I'm seated by the window on a long transcontinental flight. There's no one in the middle seat, and there's an 18-year-old young man in the aisle seat. He's asleep with dark sunglasses and headphones on. There's a backpack at his feet, blocking whatever room there might be to slide by him. I have to use the bathroom, so I wake him up, apologizing profusely. I can't see his eyes. His face doesn't change at all. He's expressionless. Once I get back to my seat, having apparently awoken him again, I settle in. Next thing it hits me. We've been on this flight an hour or so, and I left my hydro flask in my backpack with my laptop in the overhead bin. My hydro flask leaks. And now that I remember it, I've got to get it out of that pack so it doesn't fry my laptop. I can't bring myself to bother this guy again. And he's resumed his original slouched asleep position. I was like, wow, Lisa, really? Your laptop? And you're not going to interrupt this guy? Like, all this resistance. It was like, this is Andy, this is everything. Like,
Yes.
This is my not being able to open my mouth and voice my preferences, putting somebody else's blah, blah, blah. So here's the worksheet. So I'm on the plane yesterday afternoon. I'm afraid with the airplane guy because he'll be irritated with me. I want airplane guy to be more approachable. Airplane guy should have made some connection when I interrupted him the first time. He should have responded to my expressions of acknowledgement and appreciation. He should let me know he's approachable. He shouldn't be so contained. He shouldn't hold himself so separate. I need airplane guy to say, no worries, lady. We all have to do what we have to do. Airplane guy is intimidating, ignoring, separating. I don't ever want to put not wanting to slightly inconvenience someone above correcting an urgent mistake I've made again.
So number one is you're irritated with airplane guy because
He'll be irritated with me. I'm afraid of her. I'm afraid. There's
you're
fear.
afraid. Yes.
There's fear.
Yes. Because
He'll be irritated with me.
he will be irritated with you. Is that true?
Yes.
He'll be irritated with you in that moment. Can you absolutely know that's true? And what happens, Lisa? How do you react when you're believing he'll be irritated with me in that moment?
I immediately go to that bathroom interruption just a moment earlier and project all kinds of judgments onto the way he handled it, reading messages into his reaction, right? So he's got his sunglasses. I can't see his eyes. His face doesn't change. He's moved out. He's half asleep, and I make that mean something. And so in this moment, how do I react? It's like I remember all of that. I'm like, yep, he was irritated. Yep, he didn't appreciate being. Yep, he's thinking, lady, why do you take the window seat if you got to pee? I'm actually telling stories about what he's thinking.
So how much are you in his business?
So totally. Totally in his business.
And what happens to you when you're so totally in his business?
I get lost in the equation. My awareness of myself gets lost in all of that. And the next thing I know, I'm conscious of it all of a sudden, and then I'm wishing myself beyond my evolution. Pissed off at me. Like, really, Lisa? Really? Your laptop's going to get fried. It may already be fried, and you don't want to interrupt this guy? Like, come on. Who do you think this is? Like, why do you think he shouldn't, like, understand? Like, who cares if he does? Why can't you be angry? Why can't you, like, say, dude, get up, or whatever it takes. Like, I wouldn't even need to do that, but if that's what I needed to do, like, why can't I do it? So it's like, I'm a loser. I'm,
So who do you think he is? How do you treat him?
I really don't think he's somebody special, like a rock star, like as if they're special. But like, I think he's an ordinary guy. How do I treat him? Why is this so hard? I guess I don't I guess. So if I interrupted him again and he went, whatever, lady, like say that's like the worst thing that's going to happen. Why is that so uncomfortable? Was your question about how do I treat him?
Yeah.
Like his opinion of me, yeah, there it is. His opinion of me is what creates well-being in me. Like, if he's okay, I'm okay. If he's okay with me, I'm okay with me.
And what does it cost you in that moment to treat him like that, to treat you like that, and believe he will be irritated with you?
It costs me being vulnerable. It costs me being able to state clearly whether he responds or not. I'm so sorry to do this again immediately, but I need to do something. It costs me right action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's the sting or the burn of being embarrassed. I feel embarrassed. I feel ashamed of myself because I should have known. I should have remembered. Forget about how crazy the day's been. Forget about that. This is the second time. I mean, we sat on the plane. We were about to take off, and they said, "Oops, leak. Got to go on the next plane." So like I had done it right the first time. I'm in this right wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm treating
it costs you.
It costs me. What does it cost me? Yeah, it just costs me peace. It just costs me trust in the universe. Trust that this person is sitting next to me and he's a human being just like me. It just costs me awareness. It does. It costs me awareness of that there's no threat in this moment. There is nothing threatening about this moment at all. And it costs me the awareness of that well-being. Totally. I've got this whole drama going on that he's completely unaware of because the man's asleep with his head, eyes shielded and so forth. And it costs me also just noticing that I like being allowing anything that might be arising in my experience. It costs me sitting with those little ones. It costs me the chance to, I mean, if it's been up there an hour, another 5 minutes isn't going to matter. I could just sit there, take a minute, I could sit there and take a minute. So it costs me that too, all these thoughts. They're so urgent. They need action immediately, so they think, and I follow them and I believe them and I get caught up in them.
So who would you be without the thought that he will be irritated by you in that moment? You're back in your business without the thought.
I would just be responding to the awareness of the laptop in jeopardy. I'd be like, yep. I'd be putting my hand on his wrist to wake him up again, saying, I'm sorry again, because I am. This is fraught. This is so fraught. This moment is so fraught. It's so hard to get to who I'd be without the thought because it's so hard to let the thought go. There's a bombardment in my head, in my experience.
So just notice the thought. The thought is there. He will be irritated by me. Okay. Thank you, thought. And just notice, it's not like the thought is not there. But let's say you're choosing to doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just start with doubting it. But you don't fully think it's actually accurate.
You know what the space is that you just introduced? It's called trust. Like, what if he was my son or my brother, and I have a relationship with him of trust? What if I trust his basic human goodness?
Mm-hmm.
Then
so you would trust?
Then I would be willing to take the step. I'd be willing.
And feel how that feels, just kinetically.
It's so light. There's even humor. There's like, there's humor rising, like a joyful kind of, like, this is like a Lucille Ball skit or something, like, this is silly. I just made this man stand up, I'm going to do it again. But here I go, like, it's like, it's okay. And it's light in my body. It's light.
And how would you address him from that lightness?
I might laugh. Like, if he raises his glasses, I can't tell if his eyes are open. I wouldn't laugh if I couldn't tell. Because for all I know, he's mad. I wouldn't want to do that. But I might be laughing anyway because I can't help it. If joy is rising in you, you start laughing, So it wouldn't be at him or for him to engage with necessarily. But is that what you said? How would I treat him?
Yeah. How would you approach him without the thought?
I would grab his arm a little more firmly. Like the first time it was like, oh, perfect stranger, but this time I'd be like, dude, I'm so sorry. You're gonna love this. I gotta ask you to stand up again. Like, it'd be so okay because it'd be okay with me.
Yeah.
And it'd be so happening.
Like,
yeah.
Computer.
So sorry. Wait, you want to switch seats? Because I'm gonna probably have to pee again in a few minutes. Two babies, Happens a lot in my world. I might have offered to switch seats with him.
Oh, so look, you get creative.
Yeah.
So look at what humor is
Oh,
doing, and you're laughing at yourself, and you're also offering a solution.
Yeah, since I'm the one who seems to need access to that aisle.
Okay, so what's the turnaround? He will be irritated with you.
I will be irritated with myself, and that's clearly true. That if I interrupt him, I will be... that's what I'm afraid of. That was my line one was, I'm afraid with airplane guy. But I'm really afraid with my own... I fear my own emotional reaction to things because of how they sweep me away.
And when would that be the case? Like, so you will be irritated with you when, in that situation, when
I interrupt him, prior to interruption, during interruption, after interruption. There'll be chitter chatter going on in my head saying, you jerk, you should have known, what's the matter with you, this poor guy, and all along the way, it's pervasive.
So let's do a step back with those.
Okay.
So for that to happen, you need to take yourself seriously. Right.
I have to think I'm the one.
Take yourself seriously, thinking you should, anticipate.
Right, control the future.
Yeah, anticipate everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And victimize him.
Yeah.
So you will irritate yourself when the thinking is about victimization, anticipation, and heaviness.
I will irritate myself. The thinking is about victimization, anticipation. Yeah, I do notice I do that.
So if we did the living turnaround, or let's do the opposite to the self. Like, what's the opposite of irritation?
Delighting in me when I interrupt me. When I interrupt me from identifying with thinking as me. Well, you know, when I interrupt that stream of thought.
With what did you interrupt it?
Awareness, being, truth.
Humor.
Yeah. That was the catalyzing thing, was humor. Well, but the humor came from the space. So yeah, figuring out, like just taking that moment. So unpack the living turnaround that you're seeing, please.
Mm-hmm. So
the real
when you went to
steps.
number 4, you found delight, laughter. And you said, dude, you're going to love this. But I actually have to get to my backpack or make you get up again. And do you want to change seats? So that space, can you find how that delighted you?
Yeah, I can. But how did we get there? It was, well, who would you be without the thought?
It's just doubting, because so
doubting.
the number 4 was actually, you said, I can't really go to number 4, which is a really familiar place for me, not having an answer to question number 4.
Right, and so you backed it up and said,
so I
what
said,
if we
okay, so just doubt it a little.
Right.
So let's not drop it and not believe it, because maybe that's too much. But just let's doubt it. Let's doubt that so you might irritate him, you might not irritate him.
Allow for the possibility that he won't be irritated.
Yeah. And in there, when you allowed that doubt, you found his humanity.
Yeah.
And you found your humanity and your humor. So living turnarounds a lot of the time are informed by question number 4. So the turnaround, you will delight you, doesn't come just from me inventing it. Comes from what I saw you find.
I mean, and it's so true. It would delight me because I'm acting from my true nature. I'm enjoying the view from here. It's like, you know, like look at life, like there it is without the story. Like, you know, it's expansive and spacious. That's delightful. I will delight me.
And my forgetfulness.
I love, yeah. There's no problem. Yeah, so much to delight in. You know, the mind that would have me believe something else. It's such a good tool, that mind. It's just, you know, it just tells stories sometimes that aren't true. And so I'd be delighted to be noticing, oh, that's one of those, you can't touch it ones. Like that one doesn't exist. You know, I'd be delighted to notice and catch myself. Sweet. It's so sweet when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the way that's my heart's desire. It's how I want to live. And I've
do.
been living in that moment. Yeah.
And you did. This moment. So what's another turnaround that has meaning for you? He will be irritated by you is the original.
He will be irritated by me. I will be irritated by him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the man didn't say boo, and I was irritated by him. Like, he doesn't have to say, lady, what's the matter with you? Like, he doesn't have to act in any way, shape, or form. His absolute lack of acting irritated me. Yeah. Or at least my interpretation of all of it did.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
He will irritate me. Well, the truth is, it's not him. It's my stories about him that are irritating me.
Mm-hmm.
It's my fear that's irritating me. So he will irritate me well, he in this turnaround is my projection of him, right? I've made him a cardboard cutout. I'm not even seeing him. He doesn't exist. I have no idea who this man is. None whatsoever. In fact, later, when he got his 5 hours of sleep, he was much more like, we didn't have a conversation, but he acted in a way that was more easily interpreted by my mind as congenial when we got up to leave the plane. And then it occurred to me, it was like, oh, he was just exhausted. He was just exhausted and acting exhausted. Irritated that somebody, maybe irritated, maybe not. He actually, he got out of the way, he moved everything. He didn't act irritated, but he didn't smile. And so I do that when I'm exhausted. I don't have a lot of energy for making nice to strangers if I'm exhausted. So it was just kind of sweet, at the end to be like, oh. So I'll be irritated by him. That's as close as I can get to the truth of that is because it's my idea of him.
And what about the opposite? He will be irritated by you.
Oh, yeah, he'll be irritated by me. He won't be irritated by me. How about go to the extreme opposite? He'll be delighted by me. Yeah, I mean, if I could, I'm not trying to wish myself above my involution here, but if I had been able to, in that moment, be that way with him, humorous and easy, he might be delighted by me. I mean, that works for me, that I would be delighted by somebody. If its potential is there. Can't know that it would happen, but he'll be delighted by me. Anybody who offers love toward me delights me. And it would be love that I would be acting from. And so even if he wouldn't demonstrate delight in that moment, if the thought crossed his mind later in the day, I was in a fog most of that flight, but that lady was really nice to me. He'll be delighted by me.
Mm-hmm.
And the me there is also not me. It's it's just energy exchanging itself with other energy,
It's really possible. And he didn't express irritation directly. He didn't say any of the comments that you imagined. Oh, lady.
No, I filled on. I took care of those for him. I'm very thorough in my. I play both sides of the conversation.
That's great. Yeah. And what happened, by the way? Did you get up?
I called the stewardess. I found a middle ground. I was like, I could just hit that button and then maybe he won't wake up and I could say... I didn't mind inconveniencing her. I didn't mind that because that's her job, to come to the assistance.
And did she come quickly?
She did. She came right away.
Oh, good.
And I said, the plane's so loud, And I'm trying to whisper. She can't hear me. And I woke him up anyway because I had to speak loudly enough for her to understand what the hell I wanted. And so he woke up anyway. But I let myself off the hook because I could say, I don't want to wake this man up. as I woke him up.
I don't want to wake him up.
Yeah. Exactly. So.
And your computer was okay?
It just had a few drips on it and it's fine. And I got that flask out of there and everything worked out.
Cool.